To do a kind of a demo on body in focusing, and there's such a thing as whole body focusing. So that's by Kevin McKevinew, who pioneered that. But I'm really not wanting to step on his toes, really. I'm just wanting to acknowledge that for me, or you can't really do focusing without the body. And there's also called inner relationship focusing, right? Which is implying much more, oh, here's where the focusing takes place, in the body. But really, you can't do, so focusing really is inner and outer relationship. You can't really do it without whole relationship. And for me, body then is the primary instrument, an agent for the felt sense. The felt sense can only really, as it were, sense itself fully in relationship. Yeah. So I would talk in terms of body in focusing. Yeah, that works for me. And there's that distinction between Descartes' "I think, therefore I am," which is where in our culture, well, probably a lot of cultures now, the primary agent of living is very, very cerebral, and our education and our culture really supports that. Cerebral remembering, knowledge, information. It really lends itself to living in the head. And then you've got Dan Siegel's work, who spoke about the brain, and in the Cartesian sense, the brain and the mere mind. Yeah, my brain's here, oh, and my mind's here as well, right? So we imagine we live behind the eyes. But in Dan's work, he's saying the brain and the spinal cord and all the nerves, he says that's the embodied brain, yeah? From the spinal cord and the nerves, which is connected, which is a part of the brain, right? And he says, embodied brain, embodied mind. I absolutely love that. So here's the mind, and this embodied mind in relation to others is a kind of a communal mind. Yeah. So really, the mind is not limited to the shape of the body. You could even say it's a kind of a communal mind, but it's an environmental mind as well, where it's all connected up, yeah, and a universal mind, inverted commas, without getting pink and fluffy. So what that means is, when we come into fuller relationship, it activates our body mind more fully, and we're a part of a flow. The system mind is really an energetic flow, you could say, yeah, in the systems, and everything is affecting everything. You've got this kind of recursive, resonant, living experience, which is not bounded. It's basically, we are relationship. We're not a noun. We're not a thing. We are relationship itself, right? So the principle of body in focusing, as it were, recognizes that. And then this body becomes available, and it becomes a receiver for its own flow. Yeah. Once it becomes activated, yes. And I call that presence. Presence is an activated body in relationship. Okay. So what I want to offer you now is a demonstration of focusing with an appreciation of the whole body in relationship. Okay. Now I might verbalize a bit just to let you know of the process, but in body and focusing, you don't have to say anything. Yeah, you can work in twos, and the companion may mirror some of the gestures of the focuser, and the focuser may say nothing. They might just completely offer an embodied expression. Yeah, but I am going to say something, so just keep you connected to how it's coming to be, really. Yeah, to give you some clarity and understanding. So I'm going to start now. And there's a deep sigh in anticipation, because something in me is going, oh, how lovely. Okay, so my shoulders are dropping back slightly and down. The body's starting to sense itself more fully, and it's just naturally started to come into some alignment with itself. It's just sensing in. I'm just sensing in there. The body's sensing into itself. And the acuity of my sensing has increased. I can hear the dripping of my filter here, my water filter. The water's dripping down. I can hear a plane in the distance. I can feel Sky, my dog, sitting on my feet, although you can't see that. And my shoulders are just starting to move. There's just a sense of wanting to shift the shoulders at the top. Yeah. And to sense its whole posture. And you notice my hands are kind of opening up in front of the body. I'm really sensing contact with the earth. I've got no shoes on, no socks. I can really feel the carpet under my feet. And the term that someone used, no mud, no lotus, is coming. No mud, no lotus. So my feet are becoming like roots into the mud. And my body is almost like it's becoming a lotus stem. And I'm noticing the gesture of my hands now turning into this lotus. Yeah. It's just wanting to do that. And with this gesture is accompanied by a clear, spacious sense in my chest and tummy. And my shoulders are wanting to move back slightly. And my face is softening. And my lips are softening. My face is softening. And my arms are dropping. It's almost like the petals are floating on the water. It's like that. It's like this body is sensing itself like a lotus. And there's a lot of calm here. And the head is tilting back. And it's as if the chest is rolling back. And the whole body is becoming available to the stars and the moon and the sky and the universe. And a deep sigh. There's a sense of availability and openness and transparency. There's a sense of beauty. And it's as if the body is contracting into the bud of that lotus. It's a red lotus. The bud of a lotus. And the shoulders are dropping slightly. And there's a strong pulse in my body. And this body can hear the wind in the distance, in the treetops, and is wanting to respond to that wind that's coming into some kind of swirling movement. The wind in the trees is becoming a tree from that lotus. Yes, it's a howling wind, and it's kind of inviting an upward movement and a kind of reaching out again, a kind of celebration of space and movement. And I can hear the bamboo chimes in the distance resonating through my body. And really something is wanting to bow to this universe with gratitude. And an invitation is coming from here to say, please continue to entertain this body, to guide it, to offer richness. And gratitude and thanks. And gratitude and thanks to you for companioning this process. And some kind of completion is coming now with that sigh.